everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults.
And beer.
And beer. Just two Florida men drinking beer, talking about true crime. And, I don't know, just the fact that it's two Florida men doing it makes it even better.
Right?
So, this is episode 27.
27. Hell yeah.
Actually, no, this is episode 28.
Episode 28. Hell yeah.
The one... Yeah. the one that you're editing right now is 27. So this is episode 28. Okay. God. So anyway, that's Todd.
And that's Bill.
So, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I'm drinking rum and coke because that's what I had.
Okay. You'll never guess what I'm drinking.
Oh God, I have no idea. I mean, it wouldn't be Bud Light, would it?
How'd you get? Are you clairvoyant?
I'm peeking in your window right now, man.
Oh, you and Flat Earth Frank. If you,
yeah, right.
If you see him
Flat
out
Earth,
there,
no, I already fucking shoot him off with a stick. You're good.
Oh, he was out there this time, huh?
Yeah, I chased him away. You're good.
Okay, cool. Well, I saw some breaking news this morning. Apparently, Sting, the singer, the bass player, he was kidnapped.
Uh-oh.
And the police have no lead.
Yeah.
Come on. The police have no lead?
Yeah, the police have no lead. I got you. I got you. I hate to say that. I hate to even say this, that it took me that long for that to register, but I got you.
So, have you? We're coming up on Halloween, and we got something special planned for you for Halloween.
Yep.
But have you seen the new Halloween movie?
No, I have not.
Halloween Ends, but I watched it the other night, and I'm really good at predicting what movies are going to be like, to the point to where if I think a movie's going to go somewhere, I'll write it down just so that I can prove it.
Right.
That I knew at a certain time. Well, I had this feeling about Halloween, and I'm like, oh God, I hope I'm freaking wrong. But there for a while, it looked like I was going to be right. I mean, it really was looking like I was going to be right. And then all of a sudden, I was wrong.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, good, I'm glad I was wrong. And because of the fact that I was wrong, that's one of the better movies in the franchise.
Is it?
Yeah, I was really happy with it. And like I said, I'm glad I was wrong. Because if I had been right, the movie would have sucked.
Right. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. But, they did a good job. And I think it really is over.
I hope so, because goddamn, I mean, that franchise has been going on since the 70s, man. That shit needs to be over.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen the previews for it. I just haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, I recommend it. It's
right on.
It's better than the Rob Zombie movies. It's better than some of the movies that came out in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I did watch The Munsters. I thought it was really good.
That's out? The Rob Zombie one?
Yeah, it's on it's on Netflix, I think.
Oh, really? I'm going to have to watch that.
I mean, it's been getting like bad reviews. Like, people are really not liking it.
Oh, that's
for whatever reason. Dude, I friggin' loved it, dude. I mean, it was like, okay, it's not your typical Rob Zombie movie. It's not House of a Thousand Corpses or whatever.
Right.
I'm thinking what people wanted it to be. I'm thinking that people wanted it to be that, and it's not. I thought it was brilliant.
How could the monsters be like House of a Thousand Corpses?
I don't know, because Rob Zombie's doing it, and that's what they wanted Rob Zombie to do with the Munsters. I don't fucking know, but I mean, I see a lot of people online just freaking totally hating it, and
well,
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Well, the cool thing is, the cool thing about me and you, I know that if you like the movie, I'm gonna like it too.
Yeah, I mean, it is silly. There is some silly shit in it, but that's the way the TV show was. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah, and I just watched the new Hellraiser movie, too, on Hulu. I thought that was...
Is that a movie or is it a series?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a series.
Nah, it's a movie. It's I liked it. I mean, it's what do you want to call it? Like a reboot, I guess, of the Hellraiser franchise?
Yeah, and Pinhead's a chick, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of closer to the original story that Clive Barker wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, well, in the story, it never actually says that Pinhead is a female. Pinhead, and all the Cenobites are just very androgynous with feminine vocal qualities or whatever. Their voices sound feminine, but they never get called women.
No.
But Clive Barker changed it because, back in the day when the first Hellraiser came out, people probably wouldn't have liked the movie as much if Pinhead was a chick.
Oh.
So he rewrote his own story to whatever,
To placate the masses?
Yeah, pretty much. But now this one, the Hellraiser on Hulu is pretty good.
Cool, I'll have to check that out. So, anyway, on with the show.
Yes.
We're covering Boone Hill, the crazy outlaw, the Kentucky headhunter, the Kentucky cannibal. And
that was a country band, right? The Kentucky Headhunters, weren't they a country band?
I think so. It was either that or a WWF tag team.
Yeah, it could have been that too. I don't know.
Wait, I'm thinking of the Bushwhackers. But anyway,
Anywho.
Yeah, the Kentucky Cannibal, Boone Helm, the outlaw desperado, and if you noticed a little something different in our intro music, yep, that's our Wild West intro. We're gonna use that. We're gonna use that anytime we cover a story from the Wild West.
Wild West. That's awesome.
See, I'm on. I got that. 30 minutes from now, you're going to be like, the police have no lead.
No, I got it.
I know.
Like I said, I'm a little disappointed with myself how long it actually took for me to get it. But yeah, I got it.
Source for this is the book, The Kentucky Headhunter by Ryan Green, who's quickly becoming my favorite author. He has 25 books out so far. We've already covered the Angus Sinclair. That was my source for that episode, and then of course this one. And I've got 2 more of his books already in my possession that we're going to cover at some point. There's a there's a serial killer, and he even does a really fucked up cult.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think we're gonna, I think by the time, as time goes by, we'll have done every single thing that he has a story that he has a book out on.
All right. Well,
hey, it's cool. It's free promotion for him.
Yeah.
Actually, if you think about it, because I'm buying these books, I'm paying him.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are paying for the books. It's not like you're just reading it online or something.
Yeah, or checking out from the library or something like that.
Yeah, so he's making his money off us. It's all good.
Yep. No, and he's an excellent writer. I love and as long as he keeps writing, we'll have material.
All right then.
So January 28th of 1828. Levi Boone Helm was born. And he was born in Lincoln County, Kentucky. His mother, Nancy, she had serious complications during his birth, which could have actually had something to do with the way that he turned out. But that's just speculation on my part. She and the father, Joseph Helm, they had a total of 11 kids.
Oh my God. That's a lot of kids. That's a football team.
Yeah. The Kentucky Headhunters. So, the Louisville Cannibals.
There you go.
They at some point relocated to Missouri, and they spent their last savings to get into a wagon train to have safety along the way. And they were well liked in Missouri, even though they were dirt poor. Joseph couldn't afford to have farm hands. Luckily, they had 11 kids.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, you don't have to pay your children.
Yeah. Nancy became a school teacher. So Boone, at 10 years old, he had a growth spurt. And he was the size of a grown man at 10 years old and bulking out with muscle mass due to his hard work on the farm. You know, Joseph taught him to hunt and kill and skin animals. You know, his older kids got squeamish about that, but Boone loved it. You know, Joseph had given him a Bowie knife, and that was his prized possession. He took it everywhere he went. And when he was skinning rabbits, he wouldn't even break their necks at first. He'd just start skinning them because he liked the sound of a rabbit screaming.
Oh.
Have you ever heard a rabbit scream?
No.
I hope you never do, because that is a sound that once you hear, you can never unhear it.
Yeah. Well, you know how I feel about animals, so yeah, I'm going to go out of my way to not ever hear that.
Yeah. So Boone demanded respect from older people. He started fighting whoever he thought wasn't respecting him. He would assault the younger kids, and he would also go after all of the bullies. You know, all the other bullies. Yeah, and he was brutal with his beatdowns. If he thought somebody had wronged him, he would beat the shit out of that person. But once wasn't enough. He'd do it like every time he saw the dude.
Oh, really? So it was just like kicking your ass once wasn't enough for him. He would just keep on doing it.
Yeah. Hey, Arthur, come on over here. It's time for your weekly beating down.
Damn, man, I ain't seen you in a month. Get over here. I need to kick your ass.
Get over here, yeah. I'm going to kick your ass twice because it's been a month.
All right.
So if someone pulled him off of somebody that he was pummeling, he would go after the person that saved the victim and beat the shit out of them too.
I see. I kind of get the feeling this guy spent a lot of time kicking people's asses.
Oh, we're going to get there. We're getting there. It kind of reminds me of that scene, and you know, like somebody tries to pull him off of somebody, and he goes after that person too. It reminds me of that scene in Coming to America where they're in the barbershop. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Who's next?
Who's next? Right? Oh man.
Coming to America 2 was really good. Anyway. But
it was all right, but yeah.
I liked it. But as a teen, he put on expedition wrestling and boxing matches, bare-knuckle boxing. And he would take on grown men and beat the shit out of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he was like as freakishly big as you described earlier, I could see that.
You know, we did that killer death match between Joseph Paul Franklin and Dwight York.
Yeah.
When we cover Carl Panzram, we're gonna have to do one with Carl Panzram versus Boone Hill.
All right.
So, he quickly gained a reputation as the toughest man in town. Yet he didn't even have hair on his chin yet. He was like 13, 14 years old, and everybody in town was afraid of him.
Still have peach fuzz.
Yeah. maybe not even that.
Yeah, who knows?
Boone was also a gifted horse rider, and he had a trick where he would throw his Bowie knife and stick it into the ground. Then, with the horse at full speed, he would whip out of the saddle, hold onto it by the saddle horn, retrieve the knife, and pull him back up into the saddle. This is while the horse is going full speed.
Wow.
I freaking wish there was video of that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody on YouTube has recreated that scene.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look for that. So, as a young man, he would get drunk and he would just clear out a tavern in brawls just because.
Yeah, why not?
Like, damn it, this beer's warm. I'm kicking everybody's ass.
Oh, boy.
As a young man, he would get drunk and clear out a tavern, and I already said that.
You did.
I'm kicking your ass, Bill, because you already said that. So, he had the attention of everyone. The men, because he was a total badass, but the women started lusting after him because they wanted to tame the local wild man.
Oh.
You're not going to tame me. Get over here, I'm going to kick your ass.
Interesting.
Yeah. But his father stopped talking to him. He was afraid of Boone, and his mother was sad because of the monster that he had become. And his brothers and sisters were afraid of him as well. So, not everybody likes him.
Yeah.
So his family was leaving for better opportunities, and nobody was planning on staying there, but they didn't tell Boone that they were leaving. He was just going to be left behind, but that wouldn't happen just yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's coming. They're in the discussion phases about it, kind of like me in the situation that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But inevitably, I'm like freaking Kim Jong-il over here. Inevitably. Inevitably. I'm so lonely. Where the hell was I?
Inevitably.
Inevitably, Boone clashed with the law. He had spent nights in jail, and he had multiple warnings, and he and the sheriff had many screaming matches, but the sheriff was afraid of him.
Well, yeah, no shit, right? The guy's freaking huge.
You know, in our first episode, old Tough Tony Bastone, he had the right idea when it comes to somebody like old Boone. Well, why don't we just fucking shoot him?
Yeah, right. Let's fucking shoot him.
Let's just fucking shoot him.
We'll get the shit done with, man. What are we fucking around for?
Yeah, but it came to a head after a particularly brutal beatdown by Boone. The judge had issued an arrest warrant, and God, I wish there was a freaking movie about him because this scene is fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm warning you. This is going to be one of the ones where it's one of those episodes where it's just like you kind of find yourself rooting for the bad guy, but that goes away later.
Okay,
it goes away later. Trust me. So, the judge had issued an arrest warrant, and Boone was on his horse when the warrant was served. He didn't even dismount. He just grabbed the summons, and he simply rode his horse into the courtroom that was in session. He started screaming and demanding to know who had issued the warrant and insulting everyone. Take a guess as what happens next.
Oh, his horse took a shit in the middle of the courtroom.
Probably, but that's not where I was going with that.
Oh, okay. I don't know then.
The judge rescinded the warrant.
The judge did? Huh.
Yeah.
The judge is afraid of him too. All right.
Yeah. So he just turned his horse around and went right by the sheriff, saying, "Better luck next time, boys."
Damn.
You serve me a warning, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, right. There's three more people he's got to start kicking ass.
Yeah, he was 20. He was only 20 years old at that point.
Jeez, he's still a child.
Yeah, he's a freaking badass. So
he's a bully, but that's, it is what it is.
Yeah, most bullies are badasses. Well, that's not true.
Yeah,
bullies only seem like badasses till you stand up to them. If you stand up to Boone Hill, he's gonna whoop your ass.
Well, he could try. Because I'll just take Tough Tony's outlook on the whole thing and
yeah, exactly.
Fucking shoot his ass. You ain't so tough now, are you, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Look at that. You just turned your head into a fucking canoe. How tough are you now? He'd probably still get up and kick my ass.
Yeah. Tough Tony got killed by his own freaking flunky.
Well,
So now, at this point, his family bounced. All but his parents. His father still wanted nothing to do with him, and his mother let him live with her. And all he did was drink, and the law was focusing on him. And Boone decided that he had to do something. Marriage.
Uh-oh.
Marriage is what brings us together today. And love, true love.
True love. And here's the Princess Bride.
So enter Lucinda Browning.
Oh.
So Boone had been courting it. Yeah, he had been courting her, but she was playing hard to get. Yeah, she liked him, but she wasn't going to be a notch on his bedpost.
Yeah.
And he actually resented her for denying him, but that made him chase her even more. And she was 17. She's only 17.
Oh, geez, now Winger. Oh God, where's this going?
and he was 20. So this is shortly after he rode his horse into the damn courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When they got married, they should have just rode horses into the courthouse.
Yeah, right. How fucking cool would that have been? Both of them just riding in there.
Both of them. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I'd have done it.
So he finally wore her down, and they were married and it was at the same courthouse that Boone had ridden his horse into. But now
what are they going to do? Say no?
Yeah. So yeah, we want you to marry us. Well, Boone, I don't. Oh, marry us, or I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah. Ride my horse right up in this motherfucker.
But his conquest was achieved, and all he did on his wedding night was just get trashed. And Lucinda, he didn't consummate. He didn't
lay the pipe. He just got drunk.
No, he just drank and drank and drank and drank and drank. He's like, I just got married. Let's have a drink.
Let's have a drink. So she was playing hard to get, and now he's playing hard to want. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, he could have just kicked her ass.
I'm sure that's going to come up.
It is. But I mean,
he just seems like that kind of dude.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of domestic abuse or anything like that. I'm making fun of Boone.
Yeah. So don't get it twisted, all right?
Right. So, yeah, Lucinda made sure that he didn't choke on his own vomit, because you can't really dust for vomit.
You can't really dust for vomit. Jesus.
But
we're not even half an hour in. We've already done 2 movies and a song reference.
Maybe even more than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 and a song reference that I remember.
Yeah. So, and there's more coming. Some I didn't have any of these written down, but there are some later that I did have written down.
So you didn't forget, just in case.
Yeah, but these just off the top of my head so far. But
yeah, those are the best ones.
Yep. But he screamed at her for trying to make sure that he didn't choke on his vomit. Maybe she should have let him just choke on his vomit, because you can't dust per vomit.
Yeah, and then everybody wouldn't have been happy because the town bully would have been gone.
Right, and our episode would be over right now.
Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for listening.
See you next week.
Oh, wait, that didn't happen. Never mind. You're stuck with us for another hour and a half at least. Come on.
Yeah. So she cooked him breakfast and the next morning, and he freaked out on her, accusing her of not consummating the marriage the night before.
Come on now, dude. You would rather been drinking, so it's your fault. Fuck him.
Right.
Dude, I already don't like him. I was liking him. You said that was going to change. I did not expect it to change this quick.
Yeah, I know, because he really treats Lucinda like shit.
Yeah, that's another thing I just can't fucking tolerate.
So then, to punish her, he dragged her to the bed by her hair and raped her. Oh,
classy guy.
Yeah. Marital rape wasn't a thing back then, obviously, and then he began abusing her frequently. So soon after, Boone had started racking up bar tabs all over the place, and they were all billed to Lucinda.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah. They were poor, and she did what she could. So shortly later, Boone's horse literally... Oh, damn, I totally should have set this up. What I should have said was, shortly later, they got a roommate. Take a guess at who it was.
His horse?
Yep.
Why am I not surprised?
But Boone actually cared about the only thing that Boone actually cared about was the horse. But he didn't take care of it. The abuse and rape continued, and she realized she had made a mistake by marrying Boone. But because of the laws at the time, there was no one who would help her. Women were basically property back then, and well, you can't rape your own wife.
Yeah, right.
Oh, she gets out of line, just smack her.
Oh yeah, it's the good old days.
Farfig Nugan.
Farfig Nugan.
So Boone took... God, that noise, man. Boone took off to do some mining work, and Lucinda knew that he would come back broke, but at least she wasn't getting abused at this point, but with him gone.
Well, yeah, I guess there's that.
But of course, he's gonna, he's doing like what was it Angus Sinclair's dad did? He would disappear for weeks at a time, come back broke, because all he was doing was drinking his money away.
Yeah.
So he was. In fact, he might have been Angus Sinclair's father, or great grandfather.
Yeah, great grandfather. It's possible, I suppose.
I guess.
No, not really.
Nah. So, while he was gone, she realized that she was pregnant. And she petitioned for divorce. And Boone came back and he flipped out. And the money that for the divorce had been put up, somebody had given her the money. Guess who it was?
His horse.
Oh, God, you're trying to kill me.
I don't know. Dude, the answer to the last question was his horse, so I was going with it again.
It was his father, Joseph.
Okay. I guess that makes more sense than his horse, but I bet everybody's laughing at that one, though.
Oh, shit. We need to put a disclaimer. Like a lot of podcasts will have disclaimers. Oh, we cover sensitive topics that aren't meant for, like younger viewers or sensitive or listeners or whatever. Yeah. We need to put, so it's like, take a sip of beer in between paragraphs so that you don't die when Todd drops a freaking zinger.
Funny. The only thing that would have made that funnier if it actually was his horse.
I know.
Yeah, his horse has been saving up money, dude. He's been.
Well, the horse was, while he was out, the horse was being proactive and everything, and hiding away some of Boone's money.
Well, yeah, because horses do that.
Right. He's the responsible one.
Yeah.
She should have married the horse.
Oh boy.
Oh shit!
Now Peter's gonna be after us. Oh fuck.
So, Boone's treatment of Lucinda was now public knowledge, and there was no one who would speak up for him when the divorce. Lucinda was awarded the house in the divorce, and Boone tried to go back home, but he found it empty. His family had bounced. The cost of the divorce had actually bankrupted Joseph Helm. And Boone, I guess divorces were more expensive back then than they are now.
Well,
but
yeah, maybe. Well, considering that the.
Well, I mean, you would think that a piece of shit like Boone, you would think that the divorce would be open and shut, like especially with the reputation that Boone had.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, dude, you're talking, what is this, the 1870s now, or late 1800s, or early 1800s, dude? I mean, you're making $1 a week, if that.
Yeah, but still, you would think if you come in, like Lucinda says, "Hey, I want a divorce," and the judge says, "Oh, where's your horse?"
Where's your horse?
And okay, divorce granted.
Yeah.
I mean, that should have been open and shut. It's like, okay, only 1 week's pay, $1. Like, you know what? This one's on the house.
Yeah. I'm sure that even back then, lawyers were probably still expensive like they are today. It's just
right.
Okay, everybody's making $1. All right, it's $100 to hire a lawyer instead of $100,000 to hire a lawyer, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True, and that Joseph Helm was always poor anyway.
Yeah, so that doesn't take much to break, to run a poor guy out of money.
True, but
trust me, I know.
But the fact that he, the fact that his own dad, bankrupted himself to pay for the divorce. I mean that,
speaks volumes about this man. Yeah,
about Joseph. Because, it's like he's putting a knife in his son's back, figuratively, by, helping this woman get the hell away from him,
Yeah, but that also speaks, we are speaking volumes about
Boone.
About Boone, that's it. I don't know why I couldn't remember Boone. Fuck, dude. But, I mean, dude, if your own father thinks you're such a piece of shit that he pays for the lawyer for your wife to divorce you, you might want to go off and rethink your life.
Yep.
But anyway, I suppose if that happened, we wouldn't have. If that had happened, our story would be done now too. So,
right. So now with everybody gone, Boone was alone, and now there was nobody to restrain him.
Yeah, I had a feeling this is where it's going to go off the fucking chain here.
Yep. So he discovered that he had cousins like somewhere else in Missouri, so he went there to leech off of them.
Oh.
He poisoned their mind with his bullshit stories and everything, but they infected him with their enthusiasm, about the gold boom, the gold rush, and so Boone did have mining experience, but he was lazy. So, yeah, he didn't have the luck in this new town. He didn't have the luck that he had before. The sheriff there was tough, and the women had heard about what a tool that he was to previous women.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Bring it. Wait. You're supposed to be afraid of me. Well, I ain't. Bring it.
One of his cousins, I swear this is his name, Littleberry Shoot. Littleberry, we'll just call him Littleberry Shoot. I can't read my own writing. It might be Shast.
Okay.
But he was young enough to be taken in and groomed by Boone. To basically, for him to kind of look up to Boone. When I say groom, I mean he's not grooming him. He's not raping his cousin.
Yeah.
But he is still grooming him so he can take advantage of him, financially and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So they would drink together a lot, and Boone would go home after drinking. He would pass out, and he would just pass out in the barn. Nighty-night.
Nighty-night.
Boone sleep in barn with horse.
Boone sleep in barn. Mongo like candy.
Boone decided that he wanted to go to Texas. That's probably because nobody knew him there.
Right.
And he wanted Littleberry to go with him. And he finally talked him into it, or so he thought. And they decided that they would leave the next day. But Littleberry just told him what he wanted to hear just to shut him up. But Boone really, really, really wanted to go to Texas. Why? Because Texas.
Yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yep. So the next morning, Boone discovered that Littleberry wasn't packed. And he went to Littleberry, and Littleberry said that he had changed his mind. And Boone pulls out his trusty Bowie knife and stabs Littleberry in the heart.
Oh.
So his first known murder was his own cousin.
Wow.
And at that time, Littleberry was the only person who would even give him the time of day. That was his first known murder. I'm sure that he had killed prior to that.
Yeah, probably. He sounds like the kind of guy that would do shit like that.
Yeah. Especially if you just stab your own cousin in the heart.
Yeah, I mean, the family, the only person around you that'll fucking hang out with you and you go and kill them, yeah, you probably killed somebody else.
Exactly. So Boone was packed up and ready to go, and he found out that a posse had formed, had been rounded up to come for him because because Littleberry's body had been found, and of course everybody knew who did it. You know.
Yeah.
And so everybody had heard him talking about Texas, so they go to the trail down south to go to Texas. So Boone took off and went to California.
Oh, really? He pulled a fast one on him, huh?
Yep. But the posse quickly realized that he wasn't heading for Texas, so they doubled back and they headed west. And they found him, and he was in. This is like a week or two later. They found him, and he had eaten. He was in really bad shape and everything. He was starving, and he had eaten his horse, his most prized. The only thing that meant anything to him. He had eaten his horse. And when they found him, he was actually trying to suck moisture out of the mud in a dried out riverbed.
Wow.
So he's in bad shape, and
yeah, he didn't really plan too far ahead for this trip, did he?
No. And now this is going to be a recurring theme through here. He always doesn't plan and always winds up almost about to die, but somehow manages to pull through.
This is like one of those bad movie stories, isn't it?
I think it would make a good movie if done correctly, or
right.
or like a miniseries or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's got potential, but you know what I mean. It's just like, never mind. Carry on. I forgot where I was going with that. I had something to say, but it went away.
So, I mean, he was arrested, and in the wagon, he would start giggling or talking to himself. It's like the sun had like baked him, so he had heat stroked.
Yeah.
So at his trial, he was sentenced to life in a medical rehab center. So he was taken to a sanatorium, and people, after he was kind of like the model prisoner or whatever. And people started thinking that the monster had been tamed or whatever. They were wrong.
Of course, because they're always wrong in situations like that.
Yeah.
See, now it's coming up again. It's bad movie. It's bad movie shit. Oh, he's been cured. Let's let him go back out because if we don't, we don't have the rest of a movie.
They didn't. They didn't let him go. But, but yeah, they.
Okay, maybe not so bad a movie
then. So this sentence became ideal for Boone because his only option out west was to be hanged because the law didn't really exist out there. So he could safely come up with a plan in the sanatorium, and he'd also be protected from the posses and everything while he was in there, obviously.
Yeah.
Once again, kind of like Angus Sinclair.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, if I'm in jail, the posse, that little girl's family, can't get to me.
Exactly.
So he was acting insane, but once they got him out of Missouri, he became a model patient, and he earned the trust of the staff.
Of course he did, because that's what you do.
Yeah. So one orderly was taking a liking to Boone, and it started taking him for walks in the evenings, and this had become a regular thing. And Boone saw an opportunity. So they got near a patch of trees, and Boone would say that he needed to take a piss. So the orderly, and he did this several times, to kind of like establish a pattern, Boone was smart.
Shaking the bush, boss. Shaking the bush.
Yep. So the orderly would let him go take a piss all alone, and then one night after about probably the 10th time that he had done this, Boone bounced.
Yeah.
And the staff at the asylum had assumed that he was dead once they couldn't find him because it was out in the middle of nowhere and they could find no trace of him. And he probably would have died out there because, like I said before, his lack of planning.
Yeah, right.
But a prospector heading for California took him in. And, no good deed goes unpunished.
Oh, of course not.
So the man caught Boone going through his stuff. And Boone fought him and killed him, but the prospector put up a good fight. But it wasn't enough. So now Boone had all of the prospector's things, money, a donkey, supplies. So
a donkey. I love it.
It's like a freaking video game where, like an RPG video game where you go on these quests and you find all the stuff and everything and you collect it.
I know, right? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Playing Oregon Trail here or what? Come on.
Yeah. Too bad he wouldn't die of dysentery. Dysentery. So Boone continued west, but he avoided Missouri. And he would trade with groups of people. And if he came across someone traveling alone, he would kill them and take their things.
Dude, we are playing Oregon Trail, aren't we?
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that.
Oh, my goodness.
So, the donkey didn't last very long.
Oh, poor donkey.
Yeah, Boone killed it and made donkey jerky.
Oh, man, you should have left donkey alive. He'd have made you waffles in the morning.
But they're not in the swamp. They're in the desert.
Well, all right. pancakes then. Or biscuits. He made you some biscuits.
So
I don't know.
So now he was literally just walking, carrying his stuff. And then when the jerky ran out, he was too tired to hunt, and he was starving, just biding his time until the next unsuspecting victim crossed his path. You know, he, like I said before, he was not very good at surviving in the desert.
I know, right? He kind of you picked the wrong direction to go if you're not good at these things.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not implying that I would do any better than him.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah.
But I know my limitations. Like, dude, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to go that way.
Right. You go that way. You'll be malfunctioning in a week.
You're putting your side of scrap heap or scrap pile.
Yeah.
Oh God, we are such fucking nerds, dude. It's not even funny.
I mean, one time I was in
band camp.
You know, I would have rather been in band camp than been in freaking New Mexico for 2.5. You know, New Mexico and Arizona for a period of like 3 weeks.
All right.
Because I'm telling you, man, that dry air, man, that was rough on this Florida boy.
Yeah, dude. Nah, dude.
I mean,
yeah, it's an entirely different thing, especially when you're used to humid shit, like, you know, humid places.
And my nose was bleeding constantly. My skin felt like it was like it was getting tight, like like getting ready to split open if it got any tighter and everything. It's just like I was like, God, I don't see how these people can live like this. I need moisture. Moisturize me.
Right.
You didn't get that, but that was a Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, I don't really watch Doctor Who all that much.
But oh God, but oh man, it's freaking brutal out there, and it's just like I probably I started buying moisturizing lotion and everything, and I probably went through 2 bottles of it in the 3 weeks that I was there.
Well, I bet the clerk at the store thought you were up to something funny, huh?
I might have been.
Why you use so much lotion, man?
Hey, gotta make sure that stays moist.
Right? Can't have that dried up. Holy crap.
Moist.
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 I love that word, dude. I don't know why everybody hates that word, man. What's wrong with moist?
I don't know. You know what word really gets to me? Like, I just have these weird reactions to certain things, like the sound of opening a can of beer and pouring it into a glass. You know, that irks me. And you're,
apparently my eyes clinking around in my glass too.
Yeah, that. But there are certain words that get to me too, like, and the one that and I heard it on a freaking commercial today, and it's just, even as a kid, it would it's like, okay, when you're an adult, you refer to your nether region as your ass or your butt or your rear end or your posterior epidermis or whatever. But when it's a little kid, it's the baby's bottom. And it's just, and whenever somebody says the baby's bottom, they always say it with you gotta make sure the baby's bottom. It's like, it's not a freaking, but just say the baby's butt.
Right.
Like, the bottom. Shut up. Yeah. I have weird hang-ups, don't I?
Yeah, you kind of do. But hey, who cares? It's all right.
Hashtag, but I digress. So he came across a hunter, and he killed him, and he got mad because that man was as bad off as he was. There was no food.
Oh.
But a man's got to eat, right?
Yeah, well, now it's going all Donner Party, huh? All right.
And that's when the cannibalism started.
Figured it was going to end there, or end up there.
Yeah.
Even though he did say something about it at the beginning, but still, I was just like,
right.
It's got to get there sooner or later, and here it is.
It's like I'm on page 8, and that's the first time it's called the Kentucky Cannibal, and here I am on page 8 in the first instance of cannibalism.
Yeah, well, some people are just late bloomers, I guess.
I guess. So he butchered the man and began cooking his meat and eating, and his senses started coming back to normal. As his body processed its nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
So once he rested and regained his strength, and he headed west again, and he was determined because he had conquered the desert. But he didn't. He makes another stupid ass mistake. What do you think that was?
Oh, I don't know.
He's all there beating his chest, saying, "Okay, I conquered the desert." He had carved up this man and ate part of him. He didn't take any meat with him. He just
really he didn't. Even though he turned the donkey into jerky, he didn't turn the fucking hunter into jerky and carry it with him. What the fuck is wrong with this dude?
No, he just ate. Got nourished and everything. Got his bearings straight and everything, and then just left the body there. Yeah. So he wouldn't make that mistake again.
Well, I don't know. He seems to be making a lot of mistakes.
Well, he wouldn't make that mistake again. So he made it to California, and he found a bar and started drinking with some of some more cousins of his that he had run into.
All right.
And it's like, this guy's got cousins everywhere. Well, I mean, his parents had 11 kids. So I guess like his aunts and uncles probably had 11 kids, 12 kids, 13 kids or whatever. It's like freaking, Genghis Khan lineage over here.
Yeah, right.
So it became a dick measuring contest between him and his cousins. Who was the baddest? Which one of them was the baddest and everything. And Boone would just roll his eyes at them. And that pissed them off, and they said that he wasn't shit. And then he told them that he had killed and eaten some of his victims.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, like Homer Simpson in the bushes,
Yeah.
Okay,
and we're sneaking off. Don't let him see that we're leaving.
Yeah.
Hey, Boone, look, Elvis. What? Where? When the bar is empty.
Where's Elvis? I'll kick his ass. So Boone began searching for gold claims, and he was trying to muscle the people who were there first out of him. So he's essentially making enemies at this point. He's like, "Give me your gold claim, or I'm gonna whoop your ass."
Oh boy! And then eat you.
I'm gonna whoop your ass, and I'm gonna eat your ass.
Alrighty then.
So rumors began going around about him, and he would still hold his own in a bar brawl. I mean, but then he started something else. Guess what that was?
Oh, let's see. Okay, so he can still fight. He's cheating people out of their gold mines.
It has to do with fighting.
Oh, it has to do with fighting? Oh, I don't know. I guess he just started like boxing or like MMA fighting?
Dueling.
Dueling? Oh.
Yeah. Gun dueling.
Did he walk up and slap him in the face with a glove and say, "I challenge you to a duel, sir"? Smack!
Probably not. He just like, you either duel me or I'm going to kick your ass.
Well, come on, kick my ass then, because I sure as ain't going to get shot by you.
But, man, he obviously won every duel that he was in. Obviously,
yeah, or the story would be over.
The story be over. So the people in town, they were tired of him. Finally, the law started cracking down on him, so he bounced to the Pacific Northwest.
Oh.
Yeah. And he he had made good money with the gold mines that he had muscled out. So I mean, he's well off. So now he can trade with people. He doesn't have to, he's not going to be starving to death or anything like that, like he was. So he could trade with people. He could buy stuff and all that stuff because I mean he was wealthy at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to be wealthy and everything, when you take a bunch of gold, but you don't have to do the mining yourself. You just kick somebody's ass.
Oh, yeah, right. Kick their ass and take their shit.
Yeah, but he still preferred to travel alone, but he would socialize in order to trade, and they'd swap stories, but he kind of left out his murders and his appetite.
Well, that's probably a good idea.
Does. But if provoked, he would defend himself. And then he decided that, he was going to go vigilante.
Oh, all right.
And he started searching out known outlaws and roughing them up and or killing them. And he actually kind of became a minor celebrity because of it.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah. Like the bare knuckle Lone Ranger.
Yeah, right.
But then he fell in with a small gang of bandits and like a total role reversal. And they taught him how to rob at gunpoint quickly. And he convinced them. It's like, no, you don't want to. It's like, okay, that's fine. We rob them quickly and everything, but you don't want to leave a live witness.
Yeah, right. We know all about that.
Yeah. So then they began terrorizing small towns and everything, daring the sheriffs to try them. It's just like, we're gonna run ruckshot and everything, and then don't fuck with us or we'll kick your ass. So most people who had found fortune in gold, they packed up for Oregon. So there was lots of unsuspecting victims who didn't realize that they were about to donate to Boone Hill's gang's wallets. And he joked that they were doing the victims a favor by lightening their loads so that their travels would be easier.
Well, I guess if you gotta justify it.
You whatever you got to say to whatever helps you sleep at night.
Exactly.
So to keep their loads light, they would just bury their takes. So we're getting into a little pirate thing. Buried treasure. X marks the spot. Arrgh.
Yeah.
This book has that same disclaimer that the Angus Sinclair episode or book had about embellishments and everything. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, not very much of it, but some of it I've put my own touch on as well.
Yeah.
So, but the victims, they would bury their takes, but the victims that they killed, they would just leave them where they fell, and there were a lot of them.
Yeah.
They pillaged everywhere that they went, and they got to the Dalles in Oregon, and where that is, okay, Oregon, right there at the state line, when you're traveling across, I can't remember what interstate, I think it's I-84. When you're coming out of Idaho, you're in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
But right there at the state line, when you cross from Idaho, and you're in the panhandle of Idaho at this point, but right there, you're like really close to the Washington state line.
Mm-hmm.
The southern and Montana, but where the Dalles are, I mean, it's just like you come out, you come, like the Rocky Mountains just end abruptly right there at the state line between Idaho and Oregon, and you have to go down this gorge and everything. It's called the Cabbages, and it's a gorgeous stuff. But once you come to the bottom of that, it's just flat right after that. It's just like you come off of that like abruptly, and then it's just flat for miles and miles and miles until you get into the Cascades, the Cascade Mountains, which are the most gorgeous scenery I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
So the Dalles is like smack dab in between, the Idaho, where the Rocky Mountains end, and where the Cascades begin. So it's like right there in all this flatland.
Yeah.
So they ran into trouble that they weren't expecting. The sheriff there at the Dalles, they knew about him, and they sent riders out to collect evidence so that they could obtain a warrant. And he wanted to arrest them and hold them until they had evidence to hang them. But the stupid riders, they couldn't keep their mouths shut. So word got to Boone, so they were able to plan and be ready for it.
Ah.
We're going after Boone. We're going to get evidence. We're going to get evidence on him. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Money. But so the gang voted to avoid the Dalles, and their reputation was getting around, and it wouldn't take much for the townspeople to unite and outnumber them.
Well, yeah.
Once again, like old Tough Tony. Well, we just shoot. Why don't we just fucking shoot him?
We'll just fucking shoot him. Feed him to the fucking big feet. Well, because they're in they're in the Northwest there, so
yeah,
that's big feet territory.
Yeah. So they decided to go to Camp Floyd in Utah. A large silver deposit had been discovered there, and that would likely attract a whole new crop of people who hadn't heard about the gang.
Oh.
And get ready to laugh, because this part's hilarious.
All right.
Plus, it was Mormon-controlled, obviously, but Boone and the gang...
Boone and the gang.
They thought that polygamy. They thought that polygamy meant that they were going to a place where the women would just fuck anyone, anytime. They didn't know what polygamy meant.
Well. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure what to say to that.
I was waiting for it.
How do you not know what that means?
Well,
but then again, though, I mean, figure most of them are probably uneducated and they just heard rumors and whatnot. And
well, they heard rumors. It's like, there's this place and everything where men are allowed to have multiple wives. So they probably just assumed that.
Yeah.
So like, okay, everybody's fucking everybody there.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I can kind of see it, but
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially because more than likely they're uneducated.
Right. Well,
and,
I mean,
and then you hear that and I can see making that leap. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the only education that Boone has is whooping ass.
Yeah, right.
I swear I'll never get tired of saying that.
But yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, I get that now.
Yeah. So the gang, headed back east toward Utah in October of 1859. So the Dalles sheriff riders had come back with all sorts of evidence to justify a arrest, but the gang had vanished. But the sheriff, he wasn't pissed off about it. He was glad because now they were somebody else's problem.
Yeah, right. Okay, I don't have to deal with these assholes anymore.
Yeah. But there were other people who were after Boone's gang. And they set up in the high ground, above a pass.
Don't try it. I have the high ground.
I didn't even realize that. Shit, I had it written down. I didn't even make that connection. Don't try it. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power. Shut up, you whiny little bitch.
But the gang saw it coming, and so they spurred the hell out of their horses and hauled ass through the pass. Boone realized that these people were the Maidu, or Digger Indians.
All right.
They were called that because they would carve homes into the hills. The Digger Indians, yeah.
Cool. So I got you.
Yeah, they were after Boone's gang not because of what they had done or anything like that, but they were intruding on their land. This was their land.
Yeah.
So a firefight ensued, but it was more like two squads of Star Wars stormtroopers in a firefight.
Just missing everything.
Nobody was hit on either side. So they got away and they made camp, but they slept in shifts in case the Indians attacked them during the night. But Boone knew that the Indians would still be on their tail, but soon after, another problem presented itself. Take a guess.
They ran out of food.
Not yet, but winter is coming.
Oh, God, no. Fuck you, King of the North. Fuck you and your winter. We've been waiting for winter for 1,000 fucking years. When's it coming? Well, it's like 100 years or whatever, but still, you know what I mean.
Well, they're in Utah. Winter comes every year there. It's already winter there now.
Well, I know, but I'm going with the reference here.
Yeah. Old Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening to this, go back, restart the episode, listen with a bunch of friends, and do a drinking game. Anytime we do a song reference, you take a drink. Anytime we do a TV show reference, take 2 drinks. Anytime we do a movie, take 3 drinks.
You can't do that. Nobody will make it out of this one alive. That's all we've been doing. It's been fun, though.
Yeah. So they traveled in circles so that they, to lose any pursuers. But they were gonna run out of supplies before they reached any town or civilization. So they made it to Soda Springs, Oregon, but that town had been abandoned for the winter. So they decided to hunker down there for the winter, breaking into lockdown buildings for shelter. But there was no food or water, so they decided to press on. They moved along the Bear River, and that was the only landmark that they could use because of all the snow.
Yeah.
But the weather got worse, and they found an abandoned hunting cabin, so reluctantly they decided to hunker down there. So cabin fever set in, and they were bored.
This can't end well.
Nah. Once the liquor ran out, the gang started dick measuring, bickering, etc. But Boone was just kind of laid back and reserved. One man named Burton, he was watching Boone, and he figured that Boone was just waiting for a break in the weather, and he would bounce and leave the rest of them.
Did you say bounce and eat the rest of them?
Leave the rest of them.
Leave the rest of them. Okay, it sounded like you said eat the rest of them. I'm like,
no, they don't know.
That's what I was saying. Like, how did you know that? I mean, he's probably going to eat you, but how did you know?
Yeah. So, Burton thought that his best chances of survival were with Boone, not the other chuckleheads.
Mm-hmm.
I love that word, chuckleheads.
Chuckleheads. Chucklefuck.
So Boone knew wilderness survival, and it was Boone that had even gotten them that far. I guess he didn't tell him about all the times when he just sat out in the middle of the frickin' desert with no supplies and no nothing and almost starved to death.
Yeah, right?
the snow was relentless, and Boone brought a horse into the cabin. He likes bringing horses into buildings.
Yeah, he does seem to like bringing horses into buildings for some reason.
But he slaughtered this one, and they ate it. And in the following weeks, they wound up eating all of their horses.
Well, hey, as long as it don't turn, I guess it ain't that bad.
Yeah. So finally, Boone announced that it was time to go. His gang, he's like, okay, you can stay or go with me. They all decided to go with him, and the plan was backtrack past Soda Springs and try to get to Fort Hall, which was an established point. They didn't want to go there at first, but the time passed, and due to their ragged appearance and everything, they could go there without being recognized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Boone also surmised that the rest of his gang wouldn't actually survive the trip.
Well, he was hoping, right?
Yeah. So once they got to Soda Springs, they slept, and Boone woke up in the middle of the night, and he was quiet, and he didn't wake anyone up, and he left. But Burton was awake, and he followed Boone.
Oh.
So they trudged on, eating snow for water and eating horse jerky. They didn't sleep. Because sleeping in the whiteout blizzard, that's death.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But Burton fell into the snow, and Boone kept on. He got to Fort Hall, but it was empty, cold, and bare.
Really? Nobody was there? It was empty, cold, and bare?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That one got past me.
Smoke on the water.
Smoke on the water.
Okay,
yeah.
Cold and bare.
Really? That's what he says there? Because I thought it said something else. That's why I didn't get it. Never mind.
There was shelter and firewood, but that was it. I mean, it wasn't, it's like they had all taken off from that place too, like they did with Soda Springs.
Soda Springs, dude. That makes me think of fucking that movie Cars or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
Say there's another movie. That one might not count as a drinking one, though.
No, but Soda Springs, I don't know. You might be right. I mean, that movie does take place. No, that's along Route 66. Never mind.
Yeah, well, it's called Radiator Springs, but you say Soda Springs, and it makes me think. of that. That's all. You know what I mean? It just makes me think of it.
Yeah, but luckily for Burton, Boone went back to retrieve him. I wonder why.
Oh, because Boone was hungry.
Yeah, Burton was barely alive, so Boone dragged him up to Fort Hall, and he thawed Burton out and got him awake and alert. And then, once they're in there with the fire and all that stuff and everything, Boone fell into a deep sleep, completely comfortable. Boone was his guardian angel.
Oh.
Yeah, he slept next to the fire and having the best sleep of his life until, trigger warning. And that's how we're going to wrap up part 1.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's how we're going to wrap up part 1.
How you going to leave me hanging like that?
Well, I mean, it's just, I've got, this would have been a long ass episode.
Yeah.
And everything if I hadn't, yeah. But the thing is, and this, I hope this doesn't piss our listeners off. I mean, just like the show is growing and everything.
Oh, dude, they'll love it. They'll get it. They'll get the joke.
But the thing is next week isn't going to be part 2.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're pulling the Game of Thrones on you. You're going to have to wait another fucking year to hear part 2 of
this. Yeah. No, seriously. We have the Halloween special next week, and then part 2 will be the following week.
Yeah, so we're doing something a little different.
Yeah.
No, you got to change it up because if you keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, people just get bored.
Right. And what a hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know we had talked about this, but I wasn't expecting it to end there. Oh, that was good. Good one, bro.
I couldn't think of a better spot. Should we tell them what we're doing for the Halloween special?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's tell them. We're doing cryptids. We're cryptids, and we're calling and Todd is going to be taking the lead on the cryptid episodes.
Yes.
And so we've come up with a little name for them. It's the Cryptod series.
Yes, it will be the Cryptod series. Not going to do it a lot. Not very, every now and again.
Every now and then. Halloween. Yeah, and maybe next Halloween we might start dipping into the paranormal as well. Who knows? But maybe.
But yeah, I love cryptids. I mean, I'm like Mulder from the X-Files. I want to believe, but
Well, I'm glad that you just decided to take the lead on that because I'm not as into them as you are.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. I don't mind. It's like if Necronomipod or whatever does a cryptid episode or whatever, or the Brohios, I'll listen to the episode because I do enjoy hearing about it. But as far as like researching and talking about it, it's just kind of not my thing,
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
I actually like it when you.
But
Yeah, well, I don't dislike them.
I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all good, and I like them. I love cryptids.
I like it when you. I like it when you take lead on an episode too.
Well, yeah, it gives you a break.
As long as we don't go overboard like we did on the blood countess.
Yeah, let's stop talking about the Bathory episode. Fuck's sake.
It's hilarious.
I know it is hilarious, but goddamn, dude, really, you still rubbing that shit in my face?
Hey, I was just as guilty as you.
I know, dude. I'm fucking with you, bro. Come on. It's all good.
So.
That episode was fun while we were doing it. It just went a little off the rails. That's all.
It's fun to listen to as well. I mean, it's just like, the only thing is, it's like that episode and BTK. I hope that nobody hears those 3 episodes as their first introduction to our show.
Yeah, right. No shit.
They're going to be like, oh my God, these guys suck.
Dude, what the fuck are these fuckers thinking? Holy crap.
But the Bathory episode, it doesn't, it's just, we put that in a different category than BTK. BTK was just horrible, cursed from the get-go.
Yeah, it was
by far our worst episode. Yeah, but with the Bathory episode, we got through it a couple of times, and it's hilarious to listen to. If you already know about the show, that's a hilarious episode to listen to.
Yeah.
So
just don't listen to that one first. If you're just out finding us and listening to this episode, good. Save that one for the end.
Yeah, that one, and we don't even care if you listen to BTK. We'd rather you did.
Like go backwards. Go back. I mean, unless you're just a glutton for punishment and you want to see how we've improved. But yeah, go backwards.
Yeah. What I usually do when I find a new podcast is I'll listen to their most current episode, and if I like it, then I'll go to the beginning and start working my way out like that. That's whenever I find a new podcast, that's how I do it.
Right on.
So I think that's the best way to do it, because it's like to hook you want their best, and so you assume that their current episode is going to be the best.
Yeah, you would assume.
So then it's like, okay, I like this. Okay, let's go back to the beginning now. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up here. And we will see you next week. Until next week, later.
Cheers, everybody.